Hello, twisted humans. Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked. Hello, and welcome to episode 167 of your favorite podcast. I have been wanting to tell this story for a while, and I am so glad that our story topics have rotated back around for me to tell it to you today. I will be covering an unsolved story that is getting no attention because the police believe they have solved it already. But once you hear it, it will be extremely obvious that it is not solved. First, fun facts.
My fun fact that I have not read, but I am pulling from my book that was recommended by our Patreon member, the 853 Hard to Believe Facts. I'm just pulling at random here. And it is that in some shopping centers and restaurants at night, they would play classical music in the city centers and in their car parks at night to stop teenagers from gathering there and potentially damaging it. But then my question is, what if they really like classical music?
Yeah, also, what if you get a whole bunch of really old people who want to hang out and skateboard, you know?
I should have turned the page.
What?
So me and Caitlin from Pacific Northwest Haunts and Homicides had a video chat a little while ago when we were talking about spiders. And there's something, this is a secondary fun fact, I guess. There's something called a coconut crab that looks like a giant fucking spider.
I've seen them in my TikTok.
And they're maybe the most horrifying thing in existence. And
Yeah.
the next page of this book was a coconut crab taking down an entire chicken. So I'm upset that I saw that.
Gross.
What is your fun fact? Hopefully not disturbing.
My fun fact is that laser is an acronym. Did you know that?
No.
The word laser is
like a
an
laser
acronym.
beam?
Yep.
Okay.
It stands for light amplification, stimulation, emission of radiation.
Huh.
Who knew that
That's
laser
super fucking
was
interesting.
an acronym?
Yeah.
It was in my school book.
I feel like next time I go to
whoa.
a hospital, I'm gonna like share that fun fact, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, bitch, we already know."
Yeah. Well, I was doing my school stuff the other day, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, "What?" Jesse's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Did you know laser is an acronym?" I was like, "What?" And I told him, and he was like, "Huh, I did not know that."
Like,
yeah, I know
for a
you
future
did it.
career and using fun facts on the show. We like it. We learned about sunscreen a few weeks ago, guys. We're just learning all sorts of things.
All sorts of things.
I'm here for it.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking, and I'm pretty sure I haven't covered this one, but I have covered another white varietal from the same winery. The Segareba from Shaberton Winery near where I live was mine and Kevin's first date wine. So it holds a special place in my heart, but they have another wine called Bacchus that's not as sweet, but equally delicious for this week's white wine, Sangria. Now I say this because I had a different wine last week when I recorded my haunted episode, and it was hard to find to begin with, so I couldn't find it again. So I'm drinking this one. I'm excited about it. I also realized that I fucked up in our episode that I did, the blue Hawaiian sangria that was supposed to be red. Because Sierra and I are forever in different timelines, I get screwed up. So you guys are getting back-to-back white sangrias, but that's fine because it's summer and you forgive me and you love me. And full transparency, I'm just drinking the wine right now because I was at work for an extra hour and a half today, so I didn't have time to make my sangria. But that's a problem for a separate day. But I am going to make it when we go camping because you can make it in a watermelon. And we leave to go camping tomorrow. So it's perfect. All of that said, it is a melon lime sangria. So you are going to melon ball your melons of choice. The recipe recommends watermelon, cantaloupe, and honeydew. However, for the recipe that I'm making while we are camping, I am only doing watermelon and honeydew because Kevin has an aversion to cantaloupe. He just fucking hates it. You're also going to add in some honey, an entire juiced lime, and this is a recipe for a whole watermelon, guys. It's what you're pouring into a whole watermelon. It's party style. You're going to add 2 cups of vodka and an entire bottle of Moscato wine, or like I have chosen today, the Bacchus is kind of sweet, but not as sweet as the Moscato, so could be a good substitute. And then you're going to top it with a little bit of chilled sparkling water, or if you'd like something a little bit sweeter or a little bit more tart, you can go with tonic or like a ginger ale or Sprite. And then you're going to top it with mint leaves, your melon balled melon pieces, and lime slices, and serve with a little scoop. And you're good to go for a party, summer party.
Nice.
As this episode comes out on the last official week of summer, I thought it was perfect to do one more summer hurrah sangria.
Perfect.
And I have to get creative now because we are 167 episodes in.
Yeah.
And we have never done a melon
a
ball one.
Yeah. I am always interested in putting drinks inside of a watermelon. So sounds pretty delicious.
I love you so much. Have you seen that one? I keep seeing it on TikTok. You like drill a hole into the side of a watermelon and you put a whole bottle of vodka in it and you just let it sit and like pour into the watermelon for days. And then you cut it open and you just get to have it as a snack.
I've had friends who did that before.
Is it good? I'm afraid it's going to be boozy.
It was all gone before I got to try it.
Oh,
but
that's
they
rude.
say it was very good. Yeah.
Oh. That's my only fear. Like, I think I could do it with maybe like a bottle of white wine or something, but I'm a little afraid of like that much vodka.
Yeah. Have you ever done like vodka, like in like maraschino cherries? Dump out some of the juice, put vodka in it. It's hard to eat those fucking cherries.
Yeah. Like, that's
when
what I
they've
was
been like
meaning, like
soaking.
afraid of. Like, it's going to be like every bite.
Right.
We'll see. I'll experiment with it one day, but for this weekend, I'm going to be making that. So first, we're going to hear a promo from a podcast that is very near and dear to our hearts, Missing in Hushtown. Our friend Jules is doing an investigative podcast on the Adriana and Jennifer Wicks case. We released their first episode on our feed just for some notoriety. A bunch of podcasts did, but I would highly encourage you go and listen to the 11 episodes. She is doing amazing things. And we'll see you in a minute.
All right, here we go. So this story takes place in Valdosta, Georgia.
Nailed it.
Stephon Edgerton was a 40-year-old husband and father of 3 living in Valdosta, Georgia in 2012. He had a 13-year-old daughter and 2 sons, 6 and 7. He had been married to his wife, who he met at Hope Missionary Baptist Church for going on 14 years. He was a good father, recently teaching his sons to play basketball. He was loved by his church, having played the piano there for the past 18 years. And he was loved by his wife. Even when arguments arose between them, it was never something they couldn't work through. Aside from playing music for the church every week, Stephon Edgerton was a late-night DJ on the radio station, V96.7 FM at WGOV Radio, where he was known by the community as DJ Juan Gatti. The night shift position was new for Stephon. He had only been doing it for 3 months, but he had been with the station for 6 years. His hours were 7 p.m. until midnight, so he'd have just enough time to play basketball with the boys after school, eat a quick dinner before going to work while the rest of the family got ready to wind down for bed. One coworker of Stephons described him as being a quote unquote very pleasant guy to be around who loved to cook, sing, and play at the church. Another said Stephon was wise beyond his years, with a great sense of humor, incredible on the keyboard, and always had a smile on his face.
Oh.
And another said you could literally hear him smiling through the radio, and that when he walked into a room, it lit up. But
Oh.
we all know what that means.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love all of those choice words, especially the smiling through the radio.
Right?
So much
Except for
joy.
that last one.
Yeah.
Because this is the part on the stereotypical documentary where the beautiful image of the Edgerton family turns into a photo negative because something bad is about to happen. On Friday, January 20th, 2012, Stephon and Hilda Edgerton were living their usual Friday lives, laughing, loving, and talking about things like the upcoming grill out for a family member's birthday that Stephon was excited to cook for. Then, after playing a little basketball with the boys, Stephon got ready to leave his home and head to work. On his way out, he threw up the peace sign, his signature move, and told his family he loved them and would see them tomorrow. But he couldn't have known that that would not be the truth. DJ Juan Gatti got on the radio and had an average night of small talk and song choices. Nothing out of the ordinary. A Friday night at work, just like any other, until closing time. When Stephon gets ready to leave work at the end of the night, he sets the radio equipment to automatically play all the things it needs to until the next worker gets there sometime later the next day. This is standard. No one works directly after him. He closes up, even though the radio, continues to play.
Mm-hmm.
On this day, January 20th, he was setting everything up and headed out the door at about 11:50 p.m. Stephon locked up the station building and began walking to his vehicle when an unknown assailant popped out from around the building and attacked Stephon with a gun. He was shot 3 times, twice in the abdomen and once in the head. And then the assailant ran off. Not a single clue as to the motive of the shooting was left behind. There was no robbery, no attempted entrance to the building, no loud argument that woke up nearby residents. The person just shot and took off. According to Stephon's wife, he didn't have any enemies. There was no reason for him to feel that he needed to protect himself from anyone. So his guard was completely down.
Mm-hmm.
According to his coworkers, nothing like this had ever happened there before, nor were there any threats of anything like this at the radio station. Sure, sometimes people called in with weird or inappropriate remarks, but it was probably just a prank call. They were never consistent or even really relevant. Other workers at the station did make mention of the fact that around the same time, there were at least 2 different cases of radio station personalities being stalked in other cities in the state of Georgia, but neither of those instances led to a situation like this one. Those other cities were hours away, not even related to each other, and there's just no similarities to make anyone think that they were related to this shooting either.
That and like how many well-known radio station hosts do you know that you know what they look like enough to be able to
Right.
directly target them in a parking lot?
Yeah. Maybe if you know where they work at most, but knowing what they look like, no way. They're on the radio.
Like I feel like this is targeted beyond his job.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my gut feeling right now.
All of the people closest to him assumed it had to have been a case of mistaken identity. No one would do that to this great man on purpose.
Yeah.
However, there was one thing that his wife, Hilda, found a bit suspicious at the time, but that later never really came back up. About 2 weeks before Stephon's murder, he had come home from wherever he had been that day, and he had a sheriff's business card in his pocket. She noticed that he pulled it out and sort of tossed it aside like he was annoyed or frustrated. But when Hilda asked what it was about, why he had it in the first place, and why it seemed to be putting him in a bad mood, Stephon told his wife that it wasn't anything serious and that he had told the officer that he didn't have anything to share with him. By this statement, it seems to me like maybe the sheriff was, by the way, the sheriff was from a neighboring town, not from his town. Anyway, but by this statement, it seems to me like maybe the sheriff was like trying to intimidate Stephon and get him to answer some questions that Stephon didn't have answers to. Maybe the officer was trying to coerce a confession of something, or maybe he was trying to get Stephon to be a witness or a snitch for another incident, or maybe he was just simply asking for help should it ever arise. Like, hey, I'm looking into this thing. Do you know anything about it? No, okay, well, if you think of something, just give me a call. Like, it literally could be nothing at all, you know? But Hilda thought at one point in time that it seemed oddly coincidental because she brought it up to Unsolved Mysteries years after the incident. But that was all she had. That was the end of the conversation. She knew by what Stephon said that he didn't want to talk about it at the time, and then she never got the chance to ask him again. It's unclear if she ever got any answers from the sheriff whose card it was. Maybe she didn't know who he was and didn't ask him. Maybe she asked and he didn't remember. Like maybe it just really wasn't that serious, like Stephon said. Or maybe the officer lied and just said he didn't remember. I don't know. I do find it oddly telling that one coworker of Stephon's said very soon after the incident, when talking about the police to the press, quote, "Hopefully they do the right thing and get the right person," end quote. What exactly does he mean by do the right thing, I wonder? It makes me feel a little suspicious about the police and the sheriff, but there's just not enough information to even find a motive for an officer to do this or even cover it up. So, with the information given, they look sketchy, but sketchy doesn't make anybody guilty. So far, nothing, no answers. However, there is another reason why these officers look a little sketchy, and that is, as I alluded to at the beginning, the reason the case is no longer being actively looked into, at least in my opinion. Although Stephon did die on this terrible night, he, thankfully, did not pass right away. With 2 gunshots in his stomach and 1 in his head, at 11:53 p.m., he was still conscious and aware enough to call 911 and report what had just happened to him. He was allegedly on the phone with dispatch for 10 minutes, waiting for police and rescue to get to his location. 10 fucking minutes. And all the while, he was giving dispatch information about what had just happened to him.
That reminds me of the I-5 killer, the girls at the Dairy
Yeah.
Queen, and that were cleaning overnight. Like one of them survived, but they were conscious for like 30 something minutes after being shot.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that level of trauma on your body while you're trying to get your own self-help.
Yep.
Oh, my heart is so sad for this man.
For 10 years, the 911 call had been kept private. But in 2021, they finally released some information about what was said on the call and a very small clip of the recording.
Are you going to play it?
County 911 emergency. What's your emergency? I'm at the radio station, V96. So, I just been shot 3 times. So help me, please, Jesus. Okay, you at the radio station on 84? Get some time, please. Get somebody out here. Okay, sir, I'm going to get someone to you. Sir, do you know who shot you? No. Okay, are you inside of the business? Wherever you shot at, can you put the pressure on it? I was shot in the head. Shot in the head? Oh, God, that was real. Do you think he's coming back? Oh, God.
Okay.
And
So this is all that all the audio that we have. I, of course, through researching, have found other things that they have mentioned was in the 911 call. So we'll touch on that as well as some of the things that we just heard in case you didn't understand it. So firstly, he said exactly where he was and how many times he's been shot. He says, I'm at the radio station V96 on 84. I've just been shot 3 times. 84 is the highway that the radio station is on. Now, it isn't in the audio, but part of the information given by police about the audio is that the dispatcher asks if it was a robbery, and Stephon says no, it was not a robbery. I would bring this up because when police finally did arrive, they found Stephon lying in the grass with things sort of strewn about around him. He still had about $100 on his person and a little more than $100 in his car, according to sources. But his keys, a bag of chips, a small baggie of what they hint at was weed, some pocket change.
Attaboy.
That was all lying around him.
Okay.
Of course, it's possible that all of that was in his hands, and when he was shot, Stephon simply dropped it. But it seems to me more like things that you would find in your pockets. And if someone was reaching into his pockets and pulling things out, but not taking his money or his weed for that matter, what were they looking for? And did they find it? But also, devil's advocate, would the person have gone through his pockets while he was still alive enough to call the police? Because again, he just told the dispatcher he was shot 3 times. That's the total. The suspect is gone. Maybe the suspect never got close enough to touch Stephon at all. Maybe all the things strewn about was from him emptying his own pockets.
That's what I was
trying
thinking.
to pull out his cell
trying
phone.
To find his phone. Yeah.
Call the police. Yeah. All right. So the next part of the clip. The dispatcher asks, do you know who shot you? And Stephon replies, no, someone, a white man. At some point in the call, allegedly, because we don't get to hear this part, he also describes the shooter as being 5'9", slender build, and dressed in all black, including a mask. But the part I really want to touch on, stress on here, is when he simply says no. In any murder situation, the first suspects police look at are the family, and then the friends, maybe even the enemies of the victim. When the dispatcher asked if he knew the shooter and he said no, that automatically eliminates all of those people, because the shooter is someone that Stephon does not know. It can't be his family or his friends or even his enemies that he knew of. He doesn't know who they are. And lastly, another part that was not mentioned in the released audio, but that has been mentioned by a member of the church who was allowed to hear the entire audio to help with the investigation, according to his wife, Hilda. She says the police asked her to listen to it. She said no, she did not want to. She asked a trusted member of the church to listen to it. He says that apparently Stephon continued saying over and over throughout the audio, he ruined me. And now there's 2 sides to this. Okay. One is when I was just listening to that audio, I don't know if you guys heard everything that he said. I don't know if you could make out everything that he said. It's a little bit easier. I would think for me, because I've listened to it a billion times, and also I have watched it on screen with, text. He doesn't say that at all in the part that I showed, but he does say something like, come help me. And I feel like come help me could sound like he ruined me a little bit, but let's say, for some reason, he didn't say it in that part, but the rest, again, this is a 10-minute clip fully. We don't have that, but dispatch does. And this man, this trusted man from church, had to listen to 10 minutes of it. So it's very possible that he was saying he ruined me in this clip that we just didn't hear. So if we're going off of he said he ruined me, this could simply be Stephon's way of saying that his life was ruined, or, literally over, now that he was about to die because of the shooter.
Yeah.
Or this could mean that someone else, he, had done something to make Stephon the target of the shooter. Maybe he ruined his reputation or something like that, and it made someone want to kill Stephon, or even hire someone like a hitman, because of a ruined reputation. It's complete speculation. Nobody knows. No one knows what this is about. Police have no theory. When police got to the scene at about 12:03 a.m., 10 minutes later, they rushed Stephon to the hospital, where he had succumbed to his injuries at 12:53 a.m. Meanwhile, the police were canvassing the area. They noticed that there were cameras on the building, and one of the things that Stephon said on the phone is that the man was hiding in the bushes on the side of the building and that he ran into the woods. They decided that they have got to check out these cameras to see where the suspect came from. But unfortunately, the cameras did not work. They were just for show. They weren't even real cameras.
I have a serious fear that my building cameras in some areas are like that.
Well, fake cameras are meant to deter people from doing something in the first place.
Yeah. But in instances like this, where it's like a possible vital piece of information.
Yeah. So, but that makes you wonder, did the person who shot Stephon know that the cameras didn't work?
Yeah.
Or did they not care about the cameras, thinking that the mask and black clothes and nighttime would be enough to hide their identity, even if the cameras did work?
Maybe.
Who knows? Police used their trained canine to search the area for scents, and the dogs led police through the woods in the direction they assumed the killer took, to a spot on Highway 84, where there was a tire track, a few cigarette butts, and a Coke can. And that is where the scent trail ended. If the dogs are to be trusted, and I almost always trust dogs,
100%,
then it seems this person had a good idea of exactly how to maneuver through the woods to get close enough to the radio station without being detected, and to get back to the car in the dark. Like, that's the thing to me. Someone can park up there and sit on the side of the radio station all day long, but running in the dark through the woods,
different, yeah. Are they
almost like this took some planning? Oh, I like that you're coming to your own conclusions that I agree with.
Okay. We are the same person, so it was bound to happen.
So yeah, it kind of seemed like this person was like staking the place out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they knew what time Stephon would get off. Maybe they were just lying in wait for him to come out. But who would do that? Eventually, a tip came in from a truck driver who said that he saw a car speeding down Highway 84 near where and when the shooting occurred. He said it was a smaller car with large rims. So they go to look at the traffic cameras to verify the statement, and surprise, surprise, the traffic cameras aren't working either.
Fucking kidding me?
No.
Can't rate this shit. What? Okay, get your cameras fixed, people. God damn it. Traffic cameras can be manipulated by certain people, though, also. So I'm going to keep up in that.
Probably.
I'm stressed.
This is where the evidence ends. Nothing has ever come from the tire marks, the cigarette butts, the Coke can, or anything else that's considered evidence. But one officer, Lowndes County Sheriff Polk, believes that he has this case figured out. Now, let me start by saying, Lowndes County Sheriff Ashley Polk. All right. This guy is probably older than even Joe Biden. Okay.
Oh, good Lord.
This is an old man today.
We mean no disrespect, guys. What are the faculties where they need to be for this investigation?
People are old. I only used Joe because he's even older than Trump somehow.
And we all watched that debate. And I'm not even American, guys. I still don't know what I watched.
You watched two 13-year-old girls in 800-year-old man bodies arguing about their golf game. That's what you watched. And that is the mighty United States of America. Anyway,
don't worry, I got a room for you guys when you're ready to escape.
So Polk, yes, Sheriff Polk. Okay. He's still alive. I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast. The vibes I get.
Again, we mean no disrespect, sir.
This is a county. Well, we might. Anyway.
I meant like ageist disrespect.
Right. Yeah, I'm not ageist.
No.
The vibes I get from this man. Firstly, the position is always one where you have to be voted in. He was the Lowndes County Sheriff for many years. And then in, I think it said 2009, he got voted out. Someone replaced him. And then in 2013, he got voted back in. Okay. This case happened in 2012. So he was not the sheriff at the time, but he did become the sheriff again and investigated it later on. Okay. So, I forgot to say the most interesting part about Sheriff Ashley Polk. And this is where, please don't sue me. Okay, I'm just telling information. I'm sorry I disagree with you. There is a very popular case out of Valdosta, Georgia / Lowndes County, of a child, Kendrick Johnson. Yeah. And this is the sheriff who decided once and for all, just like 2 years ago, that this is an accidental death case and you have to let it rest, and they're not reopening it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the kid that was put in the mats and suffocated, right?
Yeah.
Also black. Interesting.
Yeah, right? Let me just tell you, Sheriff Polk is not. Sheriff Polk, he believes that he has this case all figured out. He blames the murder on a local drug dealer whose real name we don't have. He won't tell us. His street name is White Boy. The officer says that there was a tip, or possibly just rumors, that White Boy's girlfriend was also seeing Stephon, and White Boy got angry about that and killed him. I'm not sure if White Boy had a similar vehicle to the one reported by the truck driver, and maybe that helped lead the officer to think that this is, the correct answer. White Boy's girlfriend was questioned, but she denied ever having a relationship with Stephon. I don't know why police can't just look through Stephon's cell phone records. This was fucking 2012. He had a cell phone. That would prove or disprove it right there, but they haven't. All of White Boy's friends said that he was never the type to kill someone over a woman. I'm sure they didn't use the word woman, but they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? He wouldn't do that. Unfortunately, White Boy can't be questioned because he died before police came to this theory in a drug-related shootout with police. Seems a little coincidental to me that their only suspect is dead.
And it's police-related.
Yes. And even though police have DNA from the scene of Stephon's murder and a dead body of who they claim to be a criminal, they don't want to exhume White Boy without more substantial proof and reasonable cause. Which I get. But if you don't have enough reasonable cause to exhume the body for tests, then why are you not still actively looking for Stephon's killer? Question?
If somebody is convicted of a crime, is their DNA not in the system? In most.
It depends on when they were convicted, because at one point in time, the answer is no.
It wasn't mandated until a certain time that I don't know what year that happened.
Yeah, and for only certain cases. So, like, I don't think misdemeanors count. I think it's only felonies. I'm pretty sure. Fingerprints, yes, but DNA, I don't think so.
You might be right.
Yeah.
I remember reading something about it being mandated, so I was like,
Right. It was eventually for all felonies. I don't think.
And the DNA is the Coke can and the cigarette butts?
I would assume, yes.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, I'm so mad right now.
Oh,
Kendrick Johnson, that was 100% not a fucking accident.
I have not even told you the worst part. We remember that 911 call, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who killed you? No, someone, a white man. White boy is not white.
I was wondering if that was derogatory.
In the 911 call, Stephon says to the dispatcher, a white man. The sheriff, who thinks that the shooter was white boy, references this by saying that Stephon mentioned white boy, and at first we thought we were looking for a Caucasian person, but now we know that he meant a mixed light-skinned person who goes by the street name White Boy. Stephon did not say white boy. He said a white man. Those are not the same things at all. Not even a little bit.
No. And at the very least, under a mask and black clothing, you can gather somebody's race, whether it's dark or not. Like, roughly, you'd be able to know if they looked like a sheet of paper like me, or if they were black.
Also, this person is wearing a mask. We don't know what kind of mask. Oh,
I assume like a balaclava type mask.
A ski mask was also found with the cigarette butt and the Coke can. By the way, I don't know how I didn't put that in there. That was the other evidence.
All right.
That was the other fucking evidence.
Eat your chocolate.
I don't know if that's the mask he was wearing. Stephon didn't say what kind of mask he was wearing.
It seems weird to just have a mask at the end of the woods on a highway.
Unless you plant it there.
Yeah. Oh. True.
I don't know. What I do know is she asked, do you know who shot you? And he said, no, someone, a white man. He didn't say, I don't think so. He didn't say, maybe. He didn't say, I'm not sure. He was wearing a mask. He said no.
Yeah.
No. So whether or not.
Which leads me to believe maybe he spoke before he shot him or spoke after.
It leads me to believe that whether or not the person had a mask on, Stephon didn't recognize facial features enough to be like, I definitely don't know someone with that. Whatever that was. Maybe it was green eyes. I don't know anyone with green eyes. Maybe it was a red beard. I don't know anybody with a red beard.
Yeah.
He did not know this person based off of what he could see.
Yeah.
And that means it's not fucking white boy. So, anyway, with the police believing that this is their guy, white boy did it, and him being dead and unable to be interrogated, they feel that they can't move forward with the case.
Fuck off.
And with the case not being technically and officially solved, it isn't closed, meaning others are not allowed to put their eyes on it to figure it out, because it's an open case. No FOIA requests.
What?
So basically,
that's
this case. Yeah. You can only get information from closed cases. This case will be a cold case forever until someone comes forward with information pointing the police in a different direction than white boy. If anyone has that information, you would need to, unfortunately, contact the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office. I don't know what good that's going to do you if there is something sketchy about them. but their number is 229-671-2958. Thankfully, through the help of their religion, faith, and each other, Stephon's family has mostly been able to find their own sort of closure. Of course, knowing who did it and getting justice could still be a relieving feeling, but for the most part, they have forgiven and moved on to happier times, the way that they believe he would have wanted them to. His wife, Hilda, found love again and remarried just a couple years ago. His daughter went on to study neuroscience for her doctorate degree. She's going to be a fucking brain surgeon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if there wasn't any information about it, but it makes me wonder if maybe it has something to do with him because he was shot in the head and lived. If she thought, what if I could have saved him? You know, if I knew how.
That's remarkable.
I know. I don't know if that's the case, but it feels maybe even subconsciously in there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
His daughter did get married in 2021 on the anniversary of her father's funeral and walked down the aisle to a recording of a song that he played and sang in. How fucking beautiful.
Wreck me.
I know.
Oh my God.
The oldest of his two sons began playing football on a team coached by a friend of Stephon's, a friend who told him he would look after his boys if anything ever happened. At 18, this son became the captain of that football team, and they won their state championship that year. And his younger son decided to stay close to his dad's memory through music in his high school's band. So even though they are frustrated about what happened, they do not believe that white boy is the cause of this. They are trying to move on with their lives and just forgive and never forget. Now you see why I wanted to tell this story so badly.
Sierra's had this under her belt for a while, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna do it, and then I was like, it's not good timing. And then I was like, we don't have enough followers yet. And then I was like, I can't do it on Patreon. I need everyone to hear it. So share this story, please. I need this one to be solved. Okay. This is my new one.
That's fucked up.
I know.
Ugh.
And I don't know what's going. Listen, guys, I'm 100% not blaming the police for anything.
No.
Because again, I don't even have a motive for them. I don't know what their motive would be. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm just confused. I'm just so fucking confused. Like, if this was a story on Reddit, the answer would be not enough information. More information needed. I need to understand what the fuck is going on. Like, there is not enough here. Who would do this to this man? Because it's not who they think. I know that much.
Yeah. This feels very senseless and also very targeted in a weird way.
Yeah.
And I am not blaming the police either. But again, you have to know the area well. You would have to know the hours of this place. Like, whoever did this would have had to have done their research.
Yeah. It also weirds me out that the only tips that they got were from a truck driver who they don't have the name of. This truck driver has never come forward again. He just called in an anonymous tip about this car, right? On a road where there was no fucking cameras. And then a rumor / anonymous tip about white boy. Like, how come nobody is talking about this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's heartbreaking. And it's not like he was reporting on things or doing something where he was exposing people or
no, it was a fucking R&B radio.
Yeah, like it was just happy-go-lucky. Like, it's not something that you would want to silence this person. Like, the motive is just not there, other than a potential hate crime or
my only inkling was, because of the he ruined me, was maybe the sheriff, whoever the sheriff was, not Polk, because he was not even a sheriff at the time, he was a commissioner. Then again, maybe he gave him his old sheriff's card to throw him off. Anyway, I don't know. That's speculation. Ignore that. Maybe whoever it was investigating something serious and went to Stephon for information. Like, I wonder if you know. And Stephon, like he told his wife, said, I didn't tell him anything. I didn't know anything. But maybe the person that he was investigating, the sheriff, saw the sheriff talking to Stephon and was like, that guy's a liability now. He knows something and I don't want him to tell the police. And maybe that's all it is. And maybe the police are trying to cover it up because they don't want to be like, oh shit, now people will never give us information if they don't think we can trust them. I get it, but also too fucking bad.
Especially between the white and the black communities. There's already a distrust there.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever the case, you gotta, whatever fucking happened, own up to it, take responsibility, do the right thing, as Stephon's coworker said. I don't know what the fuck happened, but do the right thing and figure it the fuck out. I felt like I just saw something go past my head behind me.
I was looking down.
If you saw that in the video, it went like this. If you saw that in the video, let me know.
That was a beautiful homage to this man, and I'm happy that his family is able to find what a semblance of peace that they can. And I really, 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 really hope that we can get some answers here, because that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Ugh. Guys, share it. Just share our post, share the story, like it, boost it. I mean, all of those things seem really small, but they really do help in getting a story around the internet. And when a story is around an internet community that people care, it can make a difference. So
yeah,
that's my hope for this episode. That is my wish, because fuck, my heart hurts. And it's been a while.
So sad.
It has been a while since one has hurt my heart like this. And I think it's because of the element of like underserved communities, but also just because what did he do? Like, he did fucking nothing. Like,
he did everything right.
Disappear, it's like, yeah, what happened to them? But when somebody is just like openly shot outside of their workplace and there's no motive, like, it's fucked up. Ugh.
The radio station is still standing. The owner of the radio station decided to put in huge lights, cameras that actually work, and I can't remember, I want to say it's a woman, but I could be wrong. The owner of the radio station, man or woman, it doesn't matter, or neither, or both, decided to put their trailer on the property. They live there now. So if anything happens to anyone else, they will be there to help. And the booth where, you know, the DJs do their things is named after Stephon.
Oh,
in his memory.
Beautiful.
I know. It just makes me so sad.
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be more money and security. Like, there's CCTV footage in like major areas, but little like dinky places like this, like, I feel like more money needs to be put into that, because who knows, maybe it wouldn't have made a difference in this instance, but I don't know. Like you said, whoever did this maybe knew that the cameras didn't work.
Right.
Like I said, share this episode, share his story, like, subscribe, do all of the things, boost it out there into the world, because I've never heard the story covered, and I'm really upset that that's the case, because I feel like more people need to be talking about him. Yeah. So thank you, Sierra, for torturing yourself with this 911 call and trying to figure out what he was saying and the details of it. And thank you for covering his story. And I don't know how else to end this one. I don't even want to talk about anything happy. It doesn't feel right.
I'm happy that his family is happy. That was my ending.
Yes, I am also happy for that. And neuroscience especially, go kick some ass. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I hope his family hears this and is proud, and I don't know all of the things. But if you like the story, if you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review. It is the best way to spread the word. Share, send it to anyone that you think should know about this that hasn't already discovered Stephon's story. And we will see you guys next week for my cult episode. And in the meantime, keep it twisted. Twisted and Uncorked is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alicia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.